Welcome. At the Thrift Store Rundown, breeding Hollywood home on a budget is always our main forte. But we're also amenable to breeding fine dining home on a budget, and we've done that on 2 occasions. The Bobby Flay Bar American Cookbook, one of his restaurants, and the Morton's Steak Bible Cookbook. For the former, being that Bobby Flay is a pop culture phenomenon, it fits exceptionally well. And for the latter, chances are there's a Morton's the Steakhouse near you, and bringing a little bit of that restaurant taste home while being frugal at the same time, it makes everything you spend on that particular cookbook and all the ingredients for the recipes so worth it. Today, we're going to lean towards the casually fine dining side, being a little more frugal and a little more casual while at it, and being that October is National Seafood Month. Yes, there really is such a thing as a National Seafood Month designated for October. This catch of the day is a real fine catch. It is the McCormick and Schmick's Seafood Restaurant Cookbook from Bill McCormick and Doug Schmick, the founders of the eponymous seafood restaurant chain. This is their special edition from Annika Publishing of Portland, Oregon, featuring additional recipes and tips. It was purchased for $2.49. Recipes are compiled by one of their main executive chefs, William King, and there's a bunch of photography by Rick Schaefer. Freshness, quality, elegance. The unique partnership of Bill McCormick and Doug Schmick has developed into one of the top restaurant groups in the country. The McCormick and Schmick seafood restaurant chefs strive to reflect their founders' commitment to culinary excellence by showcasing an array of only the finest and freshest quality seafood specialties from around the world. So I guess it's next level red lobster. The extensive menu changes daily to reflect that commitment, offering preparations designed to enhance the natural flavors of the seafood. McCormick and Schmick's restaurants have built their reputation by focusing on providing their guests with a quality, memorable dining experience. Their principles, on which they stand by, the founders, and everybody working at McCormick and Schmick's, are further explained in their introduction, which explains briefly the founding of the restaurant, how it came to be, and how every employee and chef and cook in that brand strives to uphold their principles of excellence, quality service, exceptional food, and of course, exquisite attention to detail. So here we have the table of contents here. They cover everything from appetizers to soups and salads, sandwiches and pasta, seafood classics, which I assume would also be classics from their menus, and depending on which McCormick and Schmick is near you, that menu might change. It might differ from what you'll see in this cookbook. Salmon and halibut, specialties, hot, healthy desserts, and seafood grill. From catfish to shellfish, scallops to salmon, you name it, chances are they have it here. And if you're not into seafood, there's also chicken dishes. Of course, there's also awesome desserts, anything but steer, beef, cattle. No beef of any kind in here. We already covered that with the Morton's Steak Bible Cookbook. This cookbook is dedicated to the thousands of loyal guests who have graciously made their restaurants their favorite dining destination. We appreciate your patronage. Here's to your health. CEO Doug Schmick. And I certainly appreciate that. Around here, that's the equivalent of acknowledging your fans. And I tell you one thing, McCormick and Schmick has plenty of fans, especially in Atlantic City at Harrah's Resort Casino. It is the lone survivor out of 3 or 4 New Jersey-based McCormick and Schmick restaurants.
Just to talk about our executive chef, Robert Rivera, who came to us from a large, extensive culinary background. We've got some great chef recommendations here on our menu. One of our most famous dishes is our sizzling Atlantic salmon, which will actually sizzle right for you table side. It's a great dish that we serve. Another famous dish of ours, which actually is not in the chef recommendations box, which is our stuffed Atlantic salmon stuffed with crab and brie cheese, is another world-famous dish that we have here at McCormick and Schmick's. It's a dish that we were built off of. On our menu, not only will you find, our local fresh fish specialties for the day, but we've got a wide variety of side dishes. We've got steak dishes, pasta dishes, pretty much anything that your appetite may desire. Our most popular soup that's on the menu is our lobster bisque. It's a Maine style lobster bisque. It's a very, very refreshing soup that we serve 365 days a year. Once you would enjoy yourself at the bar and then move yourself into the dining room and have great entrees that we would serve to you, you're also going to turn and find a great dessert menu that we're going to offer. The one dessert that absolutely stands out, and it's something that actually brought me into the company, is our world-renowned walnut upside-down apple pie, served with a great cinnamon ice cream. Pretty much for any pie lover, that would be the choice you'd have to make.
How you doing? I'm Robert Rivera of McCormick and Schmick, the executive chef. Not only do we carry great quality fish, we also have great quality meats that we carry here. From a ribeye to New York strip to petite filet mignon, you can have a 6 ounce or you can have an 8 ounce. And we offer this during the weekend, and specifically people love to come here and enjoy a surf and turf, which we carry, which is a filet mignon with our stuffed shrimp. We also carry our top sirloin for those that just want something a little bit easier and comforting, the top sirloin. We also do an ultimate mixed grill, which is or a melange of fish that we use scallops and shrimp and the fish of the day, which was salmon today. People love it because it has a little bit of everything that you can enjoy here at McCormick's. We also carry an extensive and beautifully presented desserts. We have this one dessert we call the chocolate bag, which is great for two. You know, you're enjoying an anniversary. This is a perfect ending to a perfect dining experience here at McCormick and Schmick, which encompasses, a chocolate that looks like a bag, white chocolate mousse, fresh berries that we get from our local produce company, and it's something that's just wonderful to have as an intimate ending to a perfect night.
Let's bring some of that restaurant taste home. There is a lot of recipes to cover in here, so why don't you grab a life jacket, because you're on deck for some scrumptious sailing. First off, seafood cocktails, which yield 2 servings. Seafood in here, fresh Dungeness crab meat, or fresh bay shrimp, or 12 jumbo prawns, peeled and deveined. Prawns equals shrimp, by the way. They are sometimes interchangeable terms. They've been a mainstay of fine restaurant menus since long before any of us can remember, and with good reason. Whether using crab meat, jumbo prawns, or tiny pink bay shrimp, the result will be a sweet and fresh-tasting appetizer enhanced by a lively cocktail sauce, which you can find on page 175. If you'll notice, there will be a pattern to every recipe that I feature in this review, meaning that you will have 2 or more kinds of seafood to look out for when making one of these recipes. More bang for your buck. Up next, seafood and corn chowder, which yields 2 quarts. And the seafood in here this calls for, you'll need bay shrimp, chopped clams, and bay scallops, 6 ounces each. And a cup of clam juice and 2 ounces of what they call clam base. And there's one of many Rick Schaefer's masterful photography selections here. Next up, seafood fettuccine alfredo, for which there is no photographing here, but that'll yield 2 servings. And the seafood that this recipe calls for, you'll need 6 ounces of small shrimp, 70 to 90 per pound, peeled and deveined, and 6 ounces bay scallops. Next up, seafood mac and cheese. Comfort food taken to the next level. That yields 4 servings. And the seafood you'll need for this, small shrimp and bay scallops, 8 ounces each. There's also a variation which is not in this cookbook, but it's definitely on one particular YouTube channel which I think would be more suitable for Valentine's Day, lobster macaroni and cheese. You know what YouTube channel that is? Yep, that's Food Wishes, one of my all-time favorites. Here's a shellfish pan roast, which yields 2 servings, and boy, you're gonna need a lot of seafood for this, mainly shellfish, 10 manila clams, 10 black mussels, and 3 Dungeness crab legs. Not to mention 6 medium shrimp, 4 ounces of calamari with tentacles. Ooh. So, squid with tentacles, wouldn't be very happy with that. But is he a squid, or is he an octopus? Out of all my years watching SpongeBob, I was never able to figure that out. Now we move on to one of the stars in this cookbook, which highlights the natural flavor of the seafood and makes it spotlight worthy, all on its own. Salmon roasted on a plank of cedar. This one is where the natural goodness of the seafood really shines through. That yields 4 servings. It is quintessential Pacific Northwest seafood preparation, dating back to the Native Americans who skewered chunks and sides of salmon with cedar to roast over an open fire. Here we refine the process for indoor cooking. The wood can take any form as long as it's untreated and is finished on at least one side. You can buy roasting boards at many grocery stores or just go to your local hardware store and buy planks, siding, or closet cedar. Good luck with that depending on if your local Ace hardware store or Home Depot store or Lowe's or wherever remains open. They are all essential businesses, as you know. Let's move on to the stuffed salmon, crab, and shrimp. While dining at McCormick and Schmick's in Portland, Oregon, Bill McCormick once called this dish one of the most perfect meals I've ever had. For all its glory, it's really very easy to prepare. Just a few ingredients blend together perfectly. That yields 4 servings. And of course, the seafood that this recipe calls for, 4 5-ounce salmon fillets, not steaks, plus 6 ounces each of Dungeness crab meat and bay shrimp. For a very romantic-like presentation, as you can see here. With Schaefer. Really nice job with the photograph, dude. That is so romantic-like. Now we move on to a seafood chili. This is one of the hot, healthy sections. This special edition features a hot, healthy selection of recipes indicated here by the hot icon with the little cross on the top right corner. A hot, healthy spin on a classic American favorite. You won't believe how well seafood and white beans work to lighten the dish and provide great flavor. For this chili, which yields 6 servings, chili. Well, it's gonna get chilly out here one way or another, so you need some chili. You know, when it's chilly, it calls for chili. I learned that joke from another YouTube channel.
I am making chili. Starting off,
it's chilly outside.
it's chili outside and chili inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyway, the seafood that this calls for, you'll need cod, halibut, salmon, shrimp, or your favorite, diced into 1-inch pieces. 1 pound of seafood. So really, that's open for you to customize as you see fit. The sky's the limit. How about a seafood Newburg? No photograph, but that yields 4 servings. Oh my goodness. There's a funny story behind how seafood Newburg got invented. It's because of a falling out. The seafood in here, 8 ounces of small shrimp peeled, plus bay or sea scallops and cod diced to about 1 inch. If you're looking for the Newburg sauce, you'll find that on page 177. How about a boiled seafood platter, which yields 4 servings? That calls for 4 3-ounce salmon fillets, 12 large shrimp peeled and butterflied, 8 large sea scallops, and 4 2-ounce crab cakes? Really? You can make the crab cakes separately on pages 4 or 5. I should remind you before we head to dessert that New Jersey is one of the luckiest states in the union right now that we resumed indoor dining. But not every state in this country can afford that luxury yet because they're still under, stay-at-home orders. So, for those states and for those people who are stuck in those states, this would be a great cookbook to have because I'm a huge fan of bringing restaurant taste home on a budget. And on that note, that brings us to a very sweet ending to this cookbook as a whole. Deep dish apple pie. We just had to revive this beauty, which dates back to the early days of the original McCormick and Schmick seafood restaurant in Portland, Oregon. You'll need a 9-inch deep dish pie pan with a removable bottom to do it justice. No photograph, so I don't think it really does that recipe justice. You need a photograph for every recipe in the book, but this does not contain such a thing. The word is out. What critics are saying about the McCormick and Schmick Seafood Restaurant Cookbook. Great fish recipes with fantastic photographs. A high-quality book. Says P.O. Pro of the Restaurant Review. Similar praise from Mike Danahy, the staff writer for the Sun Times News Group, and Gary Rowan of the Midwest Book Review. And of course, unanimous worldwide praise from USA Today, the LA Times Magazine as a GAT survey for McCormick and Schmick's retail prices. $19.95 US, $19.95 in Canada. Plenty of tips in here on how to make sure that your fish is fresh and pristine as the day was picked out of the ocean. Plus, ingredient substitutions for if you can't find certain ingredients other than the seafood in this cookbook as well. So, being that it's a special edition, it isn't really particularly special for my taste anyway. I just think it's a really standard yet really awesome seafood cookbook. And again, being that it's October, National Seafood Month, this 5 out of 5 crab cookbook should really encourage you to go on a seafood diet of your own. And you have 2 of them to pick from. You know, the seafood diet, this being a great seafood cookbook, and a seafood diet in which you see all the food and you eat it. If you're lucky to have a McCormick and Schmick's restaurant open near you for takeout or delivery, that's not going to be a problem. But if you don't, if you see all the food in this cookbook, I encourage you to pick it up, cook it, and then eat it. Either way, going on either seafood diet is not going to be a problem with this. Just make sure that you check with your fishmonger to ensure that the fish you buy is as fresh and pristine as the day the fisherman caught it, and things should go along swimmingly for you. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the thrift side.